So I manifested being here. I manifested being a TEDx speaker. I manifested being on this podcast. We were not loved, we were not liked. I was a little kid, only 3 years old, but I can vividly remember those moments. If I had quit the job, which I was making 6,000 rupees at, I would not have been able to pursue my passion as an English teacher.
Let's talk about the communication and storytelling coaching aspect here, right?
Sure.
You work with leaders, you work with entrepreneurs, you work with SMEs. So tell us about like the process of how does it work? What's the approach you take? What do you do exactly?
Sure. First of all, when somebody comes to me, as a doctor, I diagnose their problem, right? I just do not give them the solution, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. No, I sit with them for like 30 to 45 minutes and understand their problems, needs, and the goals of improving their communication and storytelling. For example, somebody is in, let's say, digital marketing. He's a CEO, for example, and he or she wants to improve his or her presentation skills. Why? Because he wants to gain the respect of their employees, right? Or somebody comes and says, hey, you know what? I want to become a public speaker. Different story. Somebody says, I want to go on different podcasts and speak like you. I want to become incredible at conversations, right? So first of all, I understand their problems, what problems do they face, and what goal do they have, and accordingly, I give them a roadmap. And then I say, you know what, this is the roadmap. You have two options. You do it by yourself, good. You do it with me. If you do it by yourself, it will take you a year or so. If you do it with me, 6 to 8 weeks, right? And then different process comes, different speaking sheets are there, sessions happen. That's how I started working with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you do this online, or does it have to be in person as well?
Majorly, my work involves online.
Online.
But if you want to hire me offline, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
I do offline trainings, but majorly
also,
online.
Yeah, because in person makes it also the logistical issues are there as well,
Absolutely,
right? I mean,
right.
you need to be there in that same city.
Sure.
If it's online, you can just do it everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Let me ask you something, Sachin. You're very young. I mean, look at there are two Sachin sitting here. One is young and handsome. The other is an old man.
And handsome. Don't forget that.
So, how do people react to this fact that you're young? Does it ever happen that people say that ये तो बच्चा है, ये क्या बोलेगा?
Yeah.
Does it ever happen like that?
It has happened to me quite a few times, Sachin. People, when they see me, say, hey, you look too young. How could you be your communication storytelling coach? I'm like, it's been 8 years now. I started when I was 18 years old. So in the last 8 years, I have only invested my time, my resources, my energy in becoming the best in communication and storytelling. Good enough for you? I tell them, good enough for you? Like, yeah. And then after that, most importantly, see, you can fake the confidence, but you cannot fake the results, right? I can say all I want. I'm the best coach in the world. You'll tell me, Sachin, where's the results? Show me the results, bro. I'll show you the results.
Yeah.
I'll show you the videos, the LinkedIn recommendations, the audios, and Google reviews.
TED Talk,
TED Talk.
You've been on Josh Talk, you've been on TED Talk.
And multiple podcasts,
Yeah.
right? And see, these things really matter a lot, for sure, right? But what matters more is how I have helped so far, how I have helped CEOs. People tell me, oh, you help CEOs, you're 26 years old. I'm like, yes, you want to see the video? Boom, look at the video. I've helped him, I've helped her. Look at the video. Look at the before and the after video. I do that all the time. When somebody comes up to me, I ask them to make the first video because I want to take them on a journey. Let's say, for example, if I'm working with you, you are, let's say, 3 out of 10, for example. If you want to go 8 or 9 out of 10, first, I will make your first video. And then I'll work with you step by step on the basis of your video where you have to improve and other parts of communication as well. And then after 6 or 8 weeks, with guarantee, I'll show you the difference in the next video, in the last video probably. So I show people, look at the video. Results speak more than anything.
Absolutely.
Right? I've had people telling me, how could you charge this much? You're too young. I'm like, in the last 8 years, I have done nothing but elevated and improved and put my energy into becoming the best in communication coaching. And I showed them the result, and they're like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always tell them, just because I'm young, do not underestimate me. With confidence, not arrogance.
Yeah. That's a very, where there is a very thin line between that arrogance
Yeah,
and confidence, right? And it's
right.
important to show that.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that like communication and storytelling, right? We spoke about storytelling.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that storytelling. Why is storytelling important, and how can someone tell stories in a business environment?
I believe, Sachin, that everything revolves around storytelling. We're sitting here because of our stories. I gave my TED talk because of my story. I have been able to train CEOs, executives of big companies because of the stories. And why story matters? Story matters because when you share your story, it gets the audience's attention immediately. So story is extremely important because when you tell a story, number one, people listen to you carefully. Number two, people feel that it's relevant and relatable. One of the most important things in communication is relevance. If what you are saying is not relevant to the story of or the content of what you're saying or the context of your saying, it won't matter. Right? So storytelling plays a huge role when it comes to leadership, communication, or whatever you want to do in your life. Because when I tell story, people listen and they feel relatable, right? And there are other parts as well of storytelling that people really think that if they become great at storytelling, they can inspire audience as well, right? Yeah.
So, and how can people tell stories in a business environment?
Sure. First of all, before you go to the business environment, let's go with the basics. One of the biggest problems people have when you ask them to share this story, they will say, oh, I don't have one, right? It's not that you don't have one. It's that you haven't documented your stories. Before we go how to become a business storyteller advanced version, we've got to understand the basics of it, Sachin.
Okay.
The reason I'm able to tell better story, the reason I'm able to captivate audience's attention is because I have been documenting my stories since 2019, almost 6 years now, right? I was in the US from 2019 to 2020 for 11 months. I documented every single week. If you ask me, Sachin, what were you doing on the 8th November 2019? I would say I was in New York for the very first time, chilling there. Different story. Now, I teach students, I teach CEOs and executives, one of the most amazing ways to become a wonderful storyteller is write your own story bank.
Story bank.
Right.
Tell us about it. Yeah.
Sure. When we need money, what do? We go to the bank, we withdraw the money out of it as long as we have it, right? Right?
Yeah.
Similarly, if you have a story bank, you can go anytime to the story bank and grab and share it. Let me tell you how you can build your own story bank. Our life has enough dramas. Our life has enough positives and negatives.
Yeah.
Every single time something emotionally moves you, write that down. Every single time some incident happens in your life, good or bad, happy or sad, doesn't matter, write them down. I have been writing my story bank since 2023, documenting since 2019, but since 2023, I have been writing my story bank. I have been writing what happened when I went from a podcast. I write what happened when I had the conversation with my friend. I write what happened when I met you, right? I write how I felt about it. What was the incident? Extremely important. So story bank is very, very important if you want to tell better stories, right? So from today, who's listening us right now, I highly recommend them. Get a diary or maybe you just phone, or your laptop. start writing, if not every day, at least maybe once or twice a week. The entire week, whatever has happened, incidents, emotions, experiences, right, or the conversations, something that emotionally moved you, write them down. For example, I wrote down when I brought my mom to Delhi for the very first time, and I gave her the best life possible, but she didn't like it there because she wanted to be in the village. I thought when my mom comes and start living with me, my life is fulfilled. But I was an idiot. I was stupid. She wasn't happy. If she wasn't happy, what's the meaning of it? I wrote that down. I wrote my pain as well. When she was going back, how I cried as a baby on the railway station. I wrote that down. Last year, Sachin, I went through the toughest time of my life. I had a horrible breakup after 4 years of relationship. And after the breakup, I lost a part of me. I lost a part of Sachin. I lost my positivity and I stopped believing in love. I thought it's all bullshit. It's all crap. Now love doesn't exist. And I thought I will never ever fall in love again. And then having that negative thought, I was not able to focus on my work. My health deteriorated. My mindset went completely into deep shit. I was not the same Sachin that was inspiring and motivating. And that time went for almost 10 months. During the time, I lost my savings, I lost friendships, and the worst part, I lost part of me. That was a story as well. I wrote that part as well in my story bank. Right? So, write things down. Writing is one of the most underrated skills when it comes to becoming a wonderful storyteller.
That is true. I mean, writing is underestimated and underrated today because I'm a graphologist as well. So I can when I tell people that give me your handwriting sample, and they say like who writes these days, and I said that's exactly the problem.
Yes.
But yeah, so documenting is one thing, okay, but then telling the story, right?
Yeah.
There has to be some kind of a
Framework.
structure, a framework of
Sure.
a story.
Sure. This is the framework which I teach executives, CEOs, and working professionals to become better storytellers. This framework is called SPVL. Repeat after me. SPVL. S stands for struggle. What struggle you face? For example, when I went to Delhi in 2017, I went for multiple job interviews to get a dream job in call center. But guess what? I could not crack a single job interview because I couldn't speak in English. I was miserable. I didn't know what to do. And I was frustrated. I thought I would give up. That was the struggle part. P, process. What did I do to overcome that struggle? After I felt frustrated, I thought I'd go and give back and go home, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Then I started learning English in other NGOs and started teaching there at the same time. The more I taught, the better I became. The more I learned, the better I became. And then I was able to be mentored, and I was very lucky to be mentored by some of the greatest mentors, greatest people there who taught me, who guided me to better human being and a better teacher and better speaker. That was the process.
The process part. Yeah.
Victory. As a result, you have to say as like this. As a result, I became super confident. I became charismatic, and I became extremely fluent and confident in speaking. And not only that, the day came that nobody could ever thought was possible. The day when I got the scholarship and flew to America.
Yeah.
Now imagine a guy coming from a small village in Bihar who could not speak in English, who failed in 9 job interviews. People made fun of him because he couldn't speak in English, made it to America. That was the victory. L, lesson. What lesson this story gives? The lesson I'd like to share from this story is that it does not matter where you come from. Your background doesn't matter. The color of your skin doesn't matter. How much money you have doesn't matter. Where you come from doesn't matter. What really matters is having the guts to dream big, work on it, and never ever give up and your dream will become a reality no matter what. That was SPVL framework to become a
SPVL.
wonderful
Wow.
storyteller. How was it?
Yeah, that was beautiful, man. Yeah,
Yeah?
this is very. I think this is. It also, when people talk about how you present your answers
Yeah.
in an interview,
Yeah.
right? You talk about like what was you give the situation, you give the challenge, then you introduce the action that you did, you introduce the result, and then you introduce the learning that.
Yeah.
Right. It's called the STAR model in an L.
Yeah.
STAR with an L. Now, you mentioned about like in this example story that you just said, right? You mentioned about English, okay? Now, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, part of communication is also the language skills. right?
Definitely.
And you mentioned that you faced a lot of challenges. I personally faced a lot of challenges as well, okay? For not being able to speak in English well,
Yeah.
okay? But my question is, why? Why is just one of the languages in the world considered as the standard, that if you can speak this particular language in a particular way,
Yes. Yeah.
you are, you have some standards, otherwise you don't.
I agree with you. So you see, English, I believe, English is not just a language nowadays. It has become a required skill for you to get ahead in your career. Why? Because see, if you go for a job interview, you are required to speak in English and answer those questions in English only. Right? If you're giving a presentation in a team meeting, you are required to present them in the English language most of the time. And for example, let's say if you have a dream of coming to Dubai or going to any other country for studies or your job, English is the only language, the only common or the business language that will help you to master your speaking skills and get your dream job or the promotion or the career growth you're looking for. Sachin, English nowadays isn't a language anymore, right? It is a skill. And see, people sometimes associates with negative terminology ki if you don't know English, you are worthless. That is not the case as well. I know some of the greatest people with not good English language, but they are the greatest speakers on the planet. But learning to speak in English with confidence gives you an edge over other people. Let's say there are two people, Ram and Shyam. Ram is a great into technical skills. He is great into Hindi and other skills of his work, right? But when it comes to giving the presentation in English, he is not good at it. Shyam, technically okay, 5 out of 6 out of 10. But his ability to negotiate, his ability to talk and present is better than Sachin. And let's say the scenario comes in where Ram or Shyam will get the promotion only on the basis of presentation skills. Who do you think will get the promotion?
Sham will get it
Shyam,
because
absolutely.
because he can communicate well.
Right?
And
Absolutely. So that's where the communication comes in play. And especially in English. See, you can express in Hindi, Kannada, Tamil, Marathi, or other language. Great, nothing wrong with that. But when you are able to communicate and express yourself in the English language, that gives you more opportunity to get your dream job, promotion, career growth, give the better presentation and overall career growth in your career. That's why English is important.
Did you have the basics of like? Did you come from a English medium, CBSE or convent kind of schools? That
No way, Sachin. It is hard to believe. It is hard to believe when I tell people that I come from Hindi medium Bihar board. I never ever learned in the English medium school. Never ever. I didn't even know how to read books until the age of 15, 16 years old.
Wow. Okay. And you self-taught yourself all your
I
way
have.
to become a communication coach.
I have. Again, I would like to be little grateful here. I wouldn't say self-taught, yes.
Yeah.
At the same time, great mentors, great
Yeah.
people who've helped me in my journey.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look. There's a role that mentors play.
Sure.
There's a role that teachers play, but then teachers can only teach when the student is ready. A mentor can only help you when a mentee is ready.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the reason why I think it's something that's within you.
Yeah.
That you have that drive. But let's look at that learning process, right? I mean, so many people learn English for years and still they're not able to communicate the way you do. What's the difference? Why do people struggle to speak in the language?
I believe there are three things why people are still not able to speak in English with confidence and fluency, even after they have studied for years. Number one is they keep learning the same old grammar rules and keep memorizing vocabulary, right? They think if they learn all the grammar rules and memorize all the vocabulary words, they will be able to speak English fluently and confidently. That is not the case. You can speak English without learning all the grammar rules. Yes, grammar is important to help you with the sentence formation, but you don't have to go deep into it. Number two, you don't have to learn all the grammar, all the vocabulary. You don't have to memorize words. You don't have to do that, right? And number two reason why people still not able to speak English fluently and confidently is because they do not follow the step-by-step process. They waste hundreds of their hours on watching Instagram reels, YouTube shorts, YouTube videos on grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation, and they wonder, why am I not able to speak English fluently? The reason, they do not have a proper step-by-step guidance. That's where. And number three, very, very important. The reason people are not able to speak English fluently and confidently, even after all these years of studying, is because they do not have proper atmosphere or mahal that we say.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I could speak with a lot of fluency and confidence, Sachin, because in 2017, 18, and 19, when I would go to these NGOs, what I would have, the mahal, the atmosphere, the environment, where I would learn English, where I would practice English. You know, the first few days when I went to join these discussion sessions, I was miserable. I was horrible. I would sit in the corner. I would say, please don't talk to me. I'm not going to speak. But you know what? What magic happened? Even if I was not speaking much, I would observe those other speakers. I was like, Sachin, come on, do something. Start small. So when you are in the environment and the mahal, you eventually start picking up.
Yeah, that environment, this is the reason why I recommend people to join Toastmasters a lot, because Toastmasters gives you that environment, the positive attitude,
absolutely,
positive feedback. But learning, you said that people don't follow the step-by-step process. When a child learns a language growing up, right? And children learn multiple languages. In people, multilingual families, children learn multiple languages. When a child learns different languages growing up, they don't follow grammar. They don't know the rules of the grammar.
Yeah, they don't.
How do they learn? Is there a difference between the way children learn and way adults learn a language?
So talking about how children learn nowadays, especially, of course, AI coming in, social media, they are exposed to those things now. The moment they open the phone, they prefer to watch something in English most of the time, right? As in my time, as if I'm too old, oh my God, right? So I got my first smartphone after passing my 12th standard, when I was 17 years old. Imagine. Nowadays, kids get them when they're like, 10, 11 years old. And also, these days, parents are very smart as well, right? They are preparing their kids to think and speak in English. I have seen a lot of parents, the moment their kids start speaking Hindi or other language, they stop. And that's nothing bad with that, because they want their kids to be prepared for the world, because English is the language of business. English is important to get the dream job, promotion, or wherever that kid wants to go.
What are the common traits of a confident speaker? You've taught thousands of, over, I think 10,000 plus students so far, professionals, working professionals that you've coached so far. What are the common traits of a confident speaker?
There are 3 C's of a confident communicator. First C is concise. When you start speaking, how concisely you're able to answer the question, right? And if you follow a certain structure or pattern, then only you will be able to speak with a proper structure and concisely. What happens when you ask somebody a question, they go all over the place. The question requires 1 minute of answer, but that person speaks for 5-7 minutes. I'm sure you have seen such people, right? Number one is concise. How concisely you're able to respond to the question. Number two, extremely important, your clarity. How clearly you're able to speak. And that's where your enunciation and your articulation and pronunciation comes in play. Coming from Bihar, I had this MTI, mother tongue influence.
Mother tongue influence,
My
yeah.
pronunciation sucked. I would say comfortable, session, breakfast, all these things. But I learned it, right? So clarity is important. And how do you improve your clarity? Practice tongue twisters. Practice pronunciation, and most importantly, practice reading out loud every single day. Extremely important. And number three, my favorite, confident. First, C, concise, clarity, and confidence. How confidently you're able to answer a question. And how do I judge somebody if somebody is confident or not? On few parameters. Number one, how they're able to use their voice, their tone, right? I can say the same sentence in two tones. Number one, hi Sachin, I'm glad to be here. Hi Sachin, I'm glad to be here. Let's get started, man. Which one was better?
Yeah, the second one.
Second one, right?
Yeah.
Because I
It is,
use my tone, I use my excitement in my voice as well. Extremely important.
Yeah.
Hand gesture. Now imagine. So thank you for having me here, Sachin. Look at me, how confident I look. I know,
Yeah.
right? So I judge people on the basis of their hand gesture, right? I'm telling you, man, your hand gestures are the signals to show your confidence. Look at me, how confident I'm sounding right now. Your hand gestures are the signals of your confidence. You see the difference?
Yeah.
I said the same sentence,
Yeah.
one with the hand gestures,
Yeah.
without hand gesture. And also, did you notice one thing, Sachin, here? The moment I brought my hand gestures, my tone became better.
Your voice is different as well, like
Yeah.
because the way you communicate, the way you use
Absolutely.
your hands.
Right.
And Italians are famous for talking with their hands. They speak
Right.
with their hands. But what about accent? Like, what is your take on fake accent? I don't want to end this episode before we talk about the fake accent syndrome.
man.
So,
I have talked about this a lot, and I feel that your accent is not the problem. When you are learning English, never run after accent. Run after improving your pronunciation and articulation. So accent is not the problem. Your pronunciation is the problem. I feel it does not matter where you come from. Bihar, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Northeast, it doesn't matter. If your pronunciation is not good, people will not take you more seriously. For example, I was having one of the calls with one of my friends few days ago, and he was like, Sachin, how was your session? It's session. Simple, funny story. When I went to Delhi 8 years ago, I went to an uncle shop, right, and say, Uncle, मुझे एक red pen दो. I was like, what? Uncle, red pen. He's like, अच्छा, red pen चाहिए तेरे को. I was like, yeah. So it's red pen. Like breakfast. People say breakfast. It's breakfast. Breakfast, right? It's not comfortable. It's comfortable.
yeah. See, there is a reason why people call red raid
Yeah.
or pen pain.
Yes.
Okay. The PAIN and PEN is the same.
Absolutely.
Because the way you write that in Hindi is the same.
Right.
In Hindi, the A ki matra,
Ah,
there is no long or short.
Yes.
There is only one.
Yes.
That's why. But okay, let's talk about like the actions that people should take now. Like people who are watching this, who want to develop their communication skills, storytelling skills, and get coached. What's the best way that people can reach out to you and connect with you?
sure. Thank you. The best way to reach out to me is LinkedIn. If they simply go on LinkedIn and type Sachin Thakur Communication, I'm on the top. And my Instagram is English with Sachin. My YouTube is English with Sachin. And yeah, that's where they can reach out to me and seek my help.
Brilliant. Yeah, and we'll also include those links here in the
Sure.
in the show notes. Sachin, thank you so much for taking out time and coming here in the studio and sharing your journey with us. It was such a wonderful conversation, man.
Thank you, Sachin. Thank you so much, man. It was one of the best conversations I've had. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you so much.